Maybe you've been studying Czech for a while, for a few weeks or several months, and you've been studying grammar, vocabulary, maybe listening to Czech music, reading short texts, writing, and everything is going well. But when it comes to speaking, you have a hard time. So why are you having difficulty speaking if you already know a lot of words and grammar concepts? Many beginners make the mistake that when they try to speak Czech, they tend to first think of a complex sentence in their native language, let's say in English, and then try to translate it word for word into Czech. But of course, as they lack more complicated vocabulary and grammar concepts, they get stuck and are unable to express themselves effectively. That's why it's important to realize that in the beginning, when you are first learning Czech, you don't need to say and translate every single word. What's important is to convey the main idea to your speaking partner using Czech as a tool. If you have just arrived in the Czech Republic, your goal is not to speak perfectly like a native speaker or to impress a stranger that you approach on the street. Your goal is to ask for directions to get to the place that you are looking for. Once you accept the fact that in the beginning you won't be able to express yourself exactly as you would like in English, you will start to communicate much more easily. Today I would like to give you 10 tips that might help you along the way. Number 1. Use simple words. If you don't know how to say traffic jam, say there were too many cars. Don't focus on specific words or phrases, but more on describing the situation. Just describe what you see. There are too many cars. If you don't know how to say he lied, you can say he said something that isn't true. If you don't know how to say she's pregnant, you can say she will have a baby. Number 2. Use short and easy sentences instead of complex clauses. If you don't know how to say I will stay at my daughter's place to support her because she's having a hard time, you can say my daughter has a problem. I will visit her. She needs my help. The idea remains the same, just expressed in an easier way. Number 3. Focus on how the sentence is spoken, not the words. If you don't know how to say I'm surprised, you can say, oh really? I didn't know that. Use your intonation as well. Get involved in your speech and get into it. Number 4. Let your speaking partner help you. If you don't know how to say Thursday, you can say today is Wednesday and tomorrow is... Number 5. Master and use the following phrases. Promiňte, nerozumím. Můžete to zopakovat, prosím? Můžete mluvit víc pomalu, prosím? Co to znamená čtvrtek? Jak se řekne česky Thursday? Number 6. Speak loudly, slowly and clearly. Sometimes people don't understand what we said, not because we made a mistake, but because we mumbled out of fear or because we felt embarrassed. If someone says, I didn't quite catch that, don't panic, just breathe and then repeat what you have just said. You will see that sometimes this simple step is all it takes to have your speaking partner understand so that your conversation can continue. If your speaking partner still doesn't understand, try to express yourself in a different way. Use other words, divide your long clause into 2 or 3 short sentences, describe the situation, point at things, make sounds, use body language, don't be afraid of improvising. Number 7, be prepared. If you know you are going to the market and you might be talking about the prices but haven't really mastered numbers yet, take a pen and paper and if you don't understand, let people write these numbers down for you. Currently I live in Mexico and lately I've been struggling with my teeth and I had to go to the dentist. Before going there for the first time, I have spent 2 hours looking up Spanish vocabulary and studying about teeth. How they look like, what's inside, how they work, and what my specific problem was. And it helped a lot. Number 8. Learn important things first. Don't cram vocabulary from flashcards made by other people. Focus on things that you will encounter day to day. If you know that you will be going to Prague and that you will probably need to order some food or call a taxi, don't spend your precious time learning animals, colors, or body parts. I learned English and German in school, but I learned Spanish on myself, and the great thing about being an independent learner is that you decide what you will learn, and not the teacher. But even if you have a teacher, don't be afraid to talk to him and to tell him what you prefer to learn. It's your lesson, so you should be in charge. Number 9, don't be afraid of making mistakes. Don't forget that the most important thing is to just communicate and not to be perfect. Don't be afraid of approaching people. They won't laugh at you. If some English learner came to you and started speaking in broken English, what would you do? You wouldn't say, "Oh, come on, at least get it right." You would be happy that someone is trying to learn your language and you would support them, right? And finally, number 10, just start speaking. Don't wait until you are good enough to speak. If you want to learn how to swim, you have to get in the pool. If you want to learn how to cook, you have to cook. And the only way how to learn how to speak is to speak. I know so many Czech learners that live in the Czech Republic or have Czech friends, Czech partners, but keep communicating with them in English. If you are one of them, don't do it. Use every chance to practice your speaking. I have done the same mistake. I've been living in Mexico for more than 2 years now, and I have spent the whole first year only speaking in English with all of our Mexican friends. Such a shame. I know it's not easy, because if you are used to communicating with someone in a certain language, it usually feels a bit awkward to just switch to another one. But in my case, one day I got so angry with myself that I'm not taking the advantage of living in Mexico, and I finally made a promise to myself that I will never ever speak in English with a Mexican again. I have to say it was a bit weird, speaking Spanish after so many months of English, but after a few minutes everything was okay, and now after 1 year I feel really glad to have done it. And finally, I have a quiz for you. If you are not a complete beginner in Czech, if you already know a few words, I want you to try the following exercise. I will give you a complicated sentence in English, and your task will be to express the main idea in Czech. Notice that I'm not saying to translate the sentence in Czech, just try to express the main idea. Everything goes. You can draw a picture, make sounds, point at things, use a lot of basic sentences, ask your imaginary speaking partner a question, you name it. All that matters is that you express the main idea in Czech using only the words and grammar that you already know. Stop the video now, take your time, don't look anything up in the dictionary, and try your best. Once you are ready, come back to me. So, how did it go? Were you able to express the main idea in Czech? There are many options on how you could have done it, but one of them, for example, could be: Mám dům, tam bydlí muž. Ten muž moc rád mluví. Bla, 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 bla. To nemám ráda. Ten muž chce jít sem a chce pít pivo nebo víno a mluvit. Pomoc! I will give you a few more sentences to practice with, and if you want, write some of your answers in the comments below. I'm really excited to see your creative solutions.